Hi, I'm Meryl Key, and this is my mystery school. Here's your Astrology Dice horoscopes for September 24, and we'll do a bit of a planetary overview, and then we'll roll the dice for a specific message for your sign. We've got a bunch of outer planet retrogrades, a new moon in Virgo, and a beautiful lush full moon in Pisces. What does it mean for you? If you want more detail on the September transits and aspects, check out my What is Happening and Why astrology video, put out each month. And if you'd like to support my channel, I really appreciate your likes, subscribes, shares and comments. Thanks a heap. Let's start off with a planetary overview so you know where you're at, and then we'll get into each of the signs. The Sun's in Virgo, and it moves into Libra with the equinox on September the 22nd. And this is a time of balancing up all that needs to be balanced. In the southern hemisphere, it's the beginning of spring. And in the northern hemisphere, you're moving into autumn and going into those winter months. The new moon is on the 3rd of September in Virgo, and the full moon is on September 18 in Pisces. Mercury's in Leo, moves to Virgo on September the 10th, and then moves into Libra on September 27. Venus is in Libra, her hometown, moves into Scorpio September 23 with the equinox. Mars is in Gemini, moves into Cancer on September the 5th. Jupiter's in Gemini. Saturn's retrograde in Pisces. Uranus turns retrograde right at the beginning of the month, September the 1st. Neptune's retrograde in Pisces. Pluto's retrograde and starts the month off in Aquarius, but by September the 2nd, it re-enters Capricorn for the last time. Chiron's in Aries, the North Node's in Aries, and the South Node is in Libra. The main aspect of the month is Pluto's retrograde and its slide back into Capricorn. This little zip back into Capricorn is a time for resolution, for honesty to right some wrongs, to attend unfinished business, and to get a psychological double check that you're really ready to move into the future. Let it go and set yourself free. But now let's roll some dice for each sign and see what the horoscope forecast is for you. Starting with Aries. Aries might have a decision brewing this month, and it's around the conflicting needs of work, home and family. For some of you, it's a balancing act between the need to withdraw and decompress and where you feel really fired up and passionate, ready to take on the world. This really comes to a head mid-month with the full moon, and it's a chance to redirect your energy, make up for lost time, or get back on track. So let's see what the dice can say for you, Aries. You have Venus, the second house, and Cancer. That's really nice. These dice have you looking at your resources, the second house, and in Cancer, you're looking at the resource that you've built up in your home. So we are directing your focus into that area of the balance between what you need outside of you and in the public space with your aspirations and what's going on in your home life. Venus in this position is really lucky. It says there's a lot of flow and growth and even abundance in your resources. But are you using them well? Is it time to dig into a nest egg? Or is it time to use your home and your home base as an extra resource, as an extra income? This dice read could mean there's help coming in from family members. In any case, you've got someone or something that wants to take care of you, that wants to help you grow, that wants to support you, that wants to put a little protective shield around what you need. There's a sense of emotional stability with this to give you some reassurance or throw you a lifeline if you have been struggling with resources and getting on top of your daily needs, your daily budget. If you've invested in people and friendships, September looks like the time you get real payback for that energy that you've put in. For some Aries, this can be around the value of sentimental objects or potentially antiques, heirlooms, things that have handed down through the family line. And there's some kind of bonus or new growth, new light coming in with Venus there, really lucky and supported in the second house. There's consolidation, there's protection, and it looks like there's a lot of love as well. Taurus, you do well with both moon phases this month, beaming complementary moonlight your way, soothing troubled waters and bringing some emotional stability. The dust is settling after a couple of volatile months for your sign. And with Uranus turning retrograde on the 1st of the month, this is really useful for you to slow down and regroup. Let's see what the dice has to say. You have the 3rd house, Leo, and Jupiter. Taurus, this puts you in the spotlight. You've got a really lucky break there. Recognition, admiration, your attraction is strong, and there's a real burst of light and energy and creativity coming through this month. The 3rd house talks about messages, information, good news coming, announcements. So I'm thinking with Leo there, this is really celebratory. It might have you hooking up or collaborating with like-minded others, with creative types, with big personalities. And these dice are giving you a lot of confidence to match that big personality. If you're looking to put yourself out on show this month, this dice is giving you a big fat green light. If you're looking at a missing piece to drop in or a link or a connection to form, these dice say the right person is coming at the right time. And if you're learning or studying something, if you're integrating information, this is where you get a flood of recognition supporting you, lighting the path ahead, and aligning with your true sense of who you are, speaking authentically, having passion and inspiration. These dice give you a real confidence boost and potentially brings in an influential person or that extra charisma you need to perform and act out what you're working on. It's a good connection to build on. Just because of the overall astrology for the month, I wouldn't be rushing forward to sign anything, but this definitely gives you a big idea about where you might want to go and who can help you get there. Gemini, September could bring a little bit of confusion or hesitation. Jupiter's in your sign, and that's a good thing, but it's been in a tough aspect with Saturn, and that might find you feeling restricted or having to make adaptations needed for your next move. There's a bigger plan here, but Geminis can get caught up in the minutiae and the tiny little details, losing sight of the big picture. So let's see how we can broaden your view. What can the dice say? Gemini, there you are. You have Neptune and you have the 3rd house. The dice here are pointing out with Neptune some of that confusion, the blurry lines, the hopes and the wishes that you can't nail down and see how that possibility could even come true. And with the 3rd house, which is the house of messages and communication, the way your mind works, it does look like there's a bit of foggy thinking going on. But also, this dice could set your imagination free. It could get you really flying and tapping into that big picture we're talking about. If you are finding that you're hit with a great big slap of indecision, or whatever you're reaching for seems to dribble through your fingers, you might find the answers come by stepping back, by retreating, or even taking up meditation, finding creative ways to express yourself. These dice are really nice for getting you to express what is hard to nail down. And that could be through poetry, through music, through your spiritual connection. The answers that you need aren't going to come through logical means this month. You're going to have to let go and surrender. And tap into your magic psychic side, using your sensitivity to draw down your dreams and bring them into reality. Some Geminis might find that they're going back into childhood memories or back into a childhood place. And other Geminis might find that they're stepping away from a familiar place with a kind of intuitive sense that there's something more waiting for you if you pull back from the familiar. For the Geminis going through brain fog or finding that none of the solutions that you're working on are coming through for you, I definitely say try creative ways to get your mind loosen up and look at new perspectives. Cancer, September has some sweet full moon and new moon vibes for you, with a chance to share the good mood and the sensitive connections with those you love and also with those you'd like to love. Mars is in your sign, raising the charisma and giving you a competitive edge to go out and get what you want. But Mars also sharpens your tongue. So do you have to be careful with your words this month? Let's ask the dice what's in store. There you go, you have Pisces, you have the 5th house, and you have Pluto. Well, Cancer, Pluto here in the 5th house does put a real intensity into the way you express yourself. You're wanting to get in deeper. You're not superficial this month. You don't want small talk. You want to get right down into the heart of the matter. The 5th house is the one that expresses your creativity. And it also looks at things like romance and children. So we've got a story here perhaps of where a fling or a romantic liaison is with Pluto. You want to get in deeper. You want it to shift from something casual into something more committed. And you have to work out if that's the right thing. And even if there's intense feelings here or some kind of profound impact on a short-term relationship that's really made a change for you, if it's not something that can go in deeper and really form a committed relationship, you'll be happy to end it, or you might find that circumstances close you off from that avenue anyway. It could mean you're saying goodbye to anything that's airy-fairy and not going to support you. And if you're caught up in a bit of illusion, any wake-up call this month will serve you well. If you've got children, you might be reaching a point where they're ready to move on to a new stage of transition from you, or where you might have to cut the apron strings and offer them a bit more independence. Whatever door is being shut, there is new life, new connection, and a really deep, profound new growth that comes out of it. These dice are looking at busting through illusion and giving you the hardcore truth that you really need to express that bigger, deeper part of you. Leo, Uranus turning retrograde might have you feeling out of sorts, backtracking, or doing a 180 on your preferences and your perspective. It's all part of a planet plan to get you honed into what really matters. This month, the focus is on getting rid of baggage, appreciating what you have, and letting go and surrendering what you can't control. Let's ask the dice how to help you with that. There's the 8th house, Gemini, and the Mars. Okay, Leo, the full moon is taking place in your 8th house, and that's part of the reason you are going to be letting go of what doesn't serve you anymore. The 8th house is the place of life and birth and death. It's the big stuff. It's about sex and intimacy. It's about mysticism. It's also about other people's money, taxes, things you can't avoid. So there's something going on here. It might be a conversation, or it might be a connection that needs resolution and solving. With Gemini and Mars, we might be looking at a conflict or a difficult conversation, a broken line of communication where the connection has been eroded or got combative. For some Leos, this will involve a sibling. This isn't something you can bury and walk away from, because the 8th house says things have to be dealt with. You can't hide from it. So you're going to be mustering your courage, focusing your intention, and work on aligning how you express that conflict so that you can bring opposites together. There's power in the way you use your words. And you want to finalize things once and for all. If you've been waiting on documentation, then there's a final push of enthusiasm to get that under control and to get that signed off. I think the choice that you'll be making this month, Leo, is to decide where you need to draw a line in the sand, where you need to let go of what doesn't work for you, where you need to claim what is rightfully yours, and where you need to balance out the way you deliver your message so that you're not coming across as too hard or too aggressive. There's almost an unconscious hint here that you'll need to stand in someone else's shoes to really get all the information that you need. Virgo, the new moon on the 3rd opens up new beginnings and edges you towards the next level of where you want to be. You might be ready to study something new, or maybe you'll get the news that inspires a new direction. There's lots of options opening up for you, Virgo, but nothing is set in stone. So it's up to you to seize the moment. What can the dice say to help you with that? Oops. There you go, you have Venus, the 10th house, that was the 10th, and Leo. Well, if you're looking for the next level, Virgo, the dice is really showing you where it is. It's in the way you want to be seen and recognised. It's putting yourself out in public. It's like making an announcement or reaching a peak experience or getting official acknowledgement for work that you've put in. These are lucky dice for you, Virgo. Leo in the 10th house is warm and funny and attracts admiration and goodwill. It's like a new burst of confidence and reassurance you have that you're in the right place at the right time. This has a real celebration aspect to it, and some Virgos could find this comes with a really lucky or happy announcement, with a wedding, with a promotion, with a boost to your output and your aspirations. It lifts you out of the bog and has you standing loud and proud being who you are with full support from others. Venus rules relationships of all kinds, so it's not just your romantic interests. This is also your relationship with your workmates, your relationship with money, with your sense of self-worth, with your sense of abundance. And this is very abundant dice. The 10th house is like the peak place of earthly fulfillment, feeling you have the position and the status you need to really stand in the spotlight and make yourself known. If you're a bit more of an introvert, then I think September you're going to be coming out of your shell a bit. And if you're very extrovert and a bit of a performer, then this is like you landing the leading role. And for Virgos who are used to being in service and being very responsible and in some ways working behind the scenes, this is where you get full recognition for the work you've put in. Libra, Pluto's quick zip back into Capricorn puts a pause on momentum while you step out of the hustle and check on some details. You've come a long way with this Pluto in Capricorn business and there's no going back. But a bit of rear vision view can help you establish exactly where you stand. Venus is in your sign, boosting your attraction and your sense of refined beauty. It's a good time to engage in creative or artistic matters, and of course, love, flirting and romance is all on the menu for you this month. So what can the dice say? Cancer, the 5th house, and Uranus. This is quite an exciting read for you, Libra. Uranus there puts in a surprise element, something very unpredictable, some sort of upheaval that changes your perspective on things. And the 5th house is that place where your artistic merit can really shine. And it's also the house of fun. So it's where flirting and fashion and attraction really comes down. We might be looking at a surprise attraction. We might be looking at a secret crush that really does your head in. We might be looking at a surprise purchase that enhances the beauty of your home, because Cancer is the sign that represents the home. It represents mothering and children and nurturing your emotional sensitivity. So on one hand, there might be a little bit of a shock to the senses, and that could involve your children or an announcement, a surprise pregnancy. Whatever it is, this jogs you out of a rut. This isn't about long-term commitment. It's not even about building a foundation or working hard and being responsible. This is about really cutting loose and doing things differently. Opening up the little crabby claws that Cancer likes to sink into things, and give yourself more freedom. Step out of a home base and see things from the other side. It's filled with the unusual. It will blossom with alternatives, and the possibilities are endless here with this read. Just remember, with this, you might be in for a good time rather than a long time. And if you're looking to shake up a dependency or let go of something that's held you down, held you a bit small, September is the month you make a big go of it. Scorpio, you have a lucky link to both the full moon and the new moon. And most of the outer planets are in full support this month as well. This means September you could really make progress, be in the right place at the right time, and even get recognition and connection exactly where you need it. Things can fall into place with you, communication can flow, and there's reassurance for your position. So let's ask the dice what else it can add. You have the South Node, Leo, and the first house. Okay, Scorp, the first house is about your general energy, your appearance, the way you move forward in life, your general character. And with the South Node there, you're kind of thrown back into a familiar place, or a role that you used to do that has to be resurrected. There's some part of you that has to go back and pick up some missing pieces. And with Leo, some of those missing pieces might be extra confidence, a feeling of pride about who you are, or even on a simple superficial level, this could be about changing your appearance. For example, getting a new haircut, turning back the aging process, or even catching up with something that you'd put aside for a while, and now you can return to it and give it your full attention. Leo is passionate in this position. And some Scorps might find they're looking at getting their enthusiasm back into a project, digging yourself out of a familiar place and drawing on a bit of fake it till you make it to get there. Some Scorps might be feeling they've been underestimated in certain relationships, or they've had to put their needs aside for a bit. It might mean that your partner or key relationships are drawing more from you. With all the good vibe coming for you this month, Scorp, I have to say the South Node is not really happy in the first house. It does put a bit of tension on a key relationship, or where you have to flow in with what other people need. But I don't see you losing ground with it. There's a natural sense of entitlement and a natural kind of confidence that plays out in those relationships this month. Sagittarius, as usual, you're looking for ways to break free and new territory to conquer. But September has you more retrospective than normal, and you're trying to align your goals and your direction with a deeper set of values. Something isn't sitting right, but you haven't quite found the right alternative yet. What do you need to get your flow back? Let's ask the dice. Second house, Saturn and Virgo. Okay, this is looking at the restrictions and the limitations, the responsibilities that you have to pick up in order to get your goals met. Saturn is asking you to follow some rules and regulations, and in the second house, they affect your baseline needs, your baseline budget, the food on the table, the ground you stand in, the way you work and your income and your resources all flow together. With Virgo, we're looking at picking up the minor pieces, tying off loose ends, getting all the details sorted, and also fitting into a system. This is the opposite of breaking free. It's about looking at the long-term view and what you need to put in place to get yourself there. It's not about quick fixes. And Sag, this is saying you're going to have to work for it this month. You're going to have to prove yourself. You're going to have to fall into line, which is going to be a bit tough for you, and show that you've got endurance and perseverance. The planets in the sky are putting a bit of pressure on Sagittarians, and your best resource is going to be how you can serve and show responsibility, how you can deal with authority, and how your past record can help you in the day-to-day now. It's not the time for splurges. It's the time for being practical and versatile and finding solutions. So don't hesitate to put you back into it and do the hard stuff now, because you'll definitely get a reward in the future for it. And any redefining that you need around rules and regulations and boundaries, there is negotiation and wiggle room there for you. But you kind of have to prove yourself first. Capricorn, you are in the final months of big transformation, and September has you reflecting on how far you've come. The good news is you can stop looking over your shoulder for the next hit, and by the full moon on the 18th, there will be more stability and reassurance than you've had in years. So what can the dice say to help you? There's the 4th house, Cancer, and Mercury. So Capricorn, this is looking at conversations with people close to home and conversations that bring you back into your home truth. Conversations and messaging and connections that really come down into the core of who you are. Cancer is the ruler of the 4th house, so we've got a match there. Mercury in this position is asking you to be adaptable. It might be about finding like-minded others and really having a sense of belonging with them, about receiving nurturing and caring, feeling protected and safe. There could be changes in your home life. Mercury is quicksilver. It moves things around and crosses boundaries really easily. It gives mobility and energy. So some of you might find that you're moving from your home base. You're ready to change things around, even changing around the furniture or changing the purpose and the use of the different rooms in your home. Mercury rules siblings and the sibling relationships. So some of you might find you've got brothers, sisters, nieces, nephews, cousins coming to visit. Others might find they're away from home at this time. And in that case, there's a kind of homesick, looking to return to the places that are familiar, things that remind you of your family, even information and news regarding your family. Overall, the communication and the messaging that Mercury is indicating has the warmth and the connection and the sense of belonging that Cancer in the 4th house can bring. It feels like you're coming home in some way. Aquarius, your engines are revving, your plans are taking shape, but there's some details and resolution that can't be overlooked before you fully get into gear. Pluto is stepping out of your sign just for a couple of months, and it's putting a bit of official business in behind you before you can fully launch. What's been lagging behind, Aquarius, and what's been holding you back? Let's ask the dice. You have Capricorn, the 1st house, and the moon. Aquarius, this looks like September is about having new responsibilities or shedding responsibilities so that you feel more connected, more elevated, and ready to be taken more seriously. You're not so comfortable with the moon's energies because the moon is about your emotions, your sensitivities, what you need for safety, and where your vulnerabilities lie. And here with the first house, your vulnerabilities are put on show. But with Capricorn, we've got this element of protection, of masking those vulnerabilities. You might have to embark on some sort of official documentation or official process to really get to the bottom of how you feel. And that's not necessarily talking about therapy. It's more talking about government backing or having your workplace understand an emotional need that you have. This could also mean that you're in a fill-in position for someone at work, or you've completed some big process that gives you the permit or the documentation, the letter of approval that you've been waiting for. And in that case, it's a big relief. Although there's extra responsibility that comes with this read, it's also a way of setting you free because you seem to be clearer about what you want to commit to and what you're getting back in return. You can't shirk responsibilities here. Because the first house rules your appearance, you might find that putting on a mask or wearing a uniform is the kind of protection that you're looking for. Or adopt a more mature outlook, a more mature appearance. Because there's something in this dice about growing up, releasing yourself from a kind of emotional dependency and express your independence. Pisces, the full moon on the 18th is in your sign, heightening sensitivity and bringing acknowledgement to issues of the heart to light. September should have you reaching a conclusion or a psychological turning point that helps you let go and move on. Are you up for the challenge? Let's ask the dice. Pisces, there's the 12th house. It's your house. There's Venus, lovely. And that was Leo, making this quite a sweet little deal. This is looking at that psychological turning point. And with Leo, it's bringing in a sense of fun. It's bringing in humour and goodwill and generosity your way. Especially Leo with Venus, which in the 12th house is like deep admiration. Finding your tribe. Feeling abundant in your spiritual connection, meaning you just have a feeling of flow, that everything you need can come to you. The 12th house is the house that you rule, and it's the house that most closely connects you to spirit. So it can pull you away into a holiday, into retreat. It can pull you into a more internal time where you're investigating your inner landscape. But Leo is the sun. And Venus represents good luck and good fortune, especially in relationships and money. So we're looking at you kind of retreating from life to a place that's fulfilling and creative and proud without the need of a conclusive material attachment to get you through into that place of abundance. This read is showing a lot of imagination and something quite profoundly creative coming through you. And if you have to step out of mainstream life in order to do that, I see you can. If you feel that inspiration has evaded you over these last few months, then this is the time you dig down, you step out and you rediscover who you really are. You rediscover this beautiful inner light without needing validation from outside sources, because this is really a very deep sense of your own sense of sovereignty and how your strength and your purpose fits into the collective vision. That's it for the Astro Dice horoscopes for this month. Remember, you can get full detail on the transits and the moon phases in my What is Happening and Why videos. I'm Meryl Key. You can find me on Instagram at my_mystery school, or contact me through my website at www.merylkey.com. See you next time.